What's really exciting about this time is that all of these technologies are now reaching mass adoption phase at the same time. And the whole thing behind it is this is the fastest pace of technological adoption the world will ever go through. And it's all happening. And it's across everything from life sciences, genetic sciences, AI, distributed data, 5G, 6G, robotics, space, 3D printing. I mean, you name it. And it's all happening. So the world is going to look incredibly different in 10 years' time. It's going to look nothing like what we know. And I know that sounds scary, but you can be an optimist. And, you know, here at Real Vision, we're in the business of investing. When things go exponential, you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So following these exponential technologies where their earnings go exponential and their adoption goes exponential is truly a gift of an opportunity. And anybody who's been involved in the crypto markets in the last 2 years has seen what exponentiality means. And we haven't started yet. You know, and the poster child for this is, one is Tesla that we talked about before. But even many of the car companies, I think, will go through similar, but not in the same way. ARK Invest, I've talked about Cathie Wood before. She's been on Real Vision talking about her exponential age thesis. All of those technologies are going to be incredibly exciting. So, you know, we were talking off camera, early at the beginning, was I excited about going on holiday, which of course I am. But I think it's the most exciting time to be alive that I've ever seen. Yes, we've got societal constraints and societal issues. Yes, we've got a terrible rich-poor divide. Yes, we've got geopolitical issues. But out of the ashes rises the phoenix. And for me, this is a fourth turning moment, and this is all the first turning that we're looking at coming at us. And when we transition through by 2030, we'll be going, really? Has this just happened? I was speaking to Dan Tapiero. So while I'm away on Raoul's Adventure in Crypto every Friday, the free series that comes out, well, the whole tier is free. I've got Dan Tapiero next Friday, and then we'll talk about the chat you and I had. But Dan gave me some facts. Okay, 2 years ago, the volume in crypto markets was 4 trillion. Last year, it was 20 trillion. This year, it's going to be 60 trillion. That's exponential. It's gone from 4 trillion to 60 trillion in 2 years. This is ludicrous. And I keep talking about this pace of adoption, but people don't get it yet. But what we were able to do was frame it. I had a great conversation also coming on Real Vision Crypto with Jamie Burke from Outlier Ventures. Great guy, super interesting. He wrote a paper called The Open Metaverse. And I realized talking to him that what we were all doing was using the metaverse as a way of processing the bigger idea of what all of these technologies that we're seeing within distributed ledger technology are all leading towards. It's fascinating because it was the only way you can take it all in without being an expert in all of it and kind of hold the whole thought in your head. And that's what I realized he was doing too. None of us know what the metaverse is going to look like or is, but we know how everything starts to fit in. It also stops you being cynical about things like, oh, NFTs, that's just a bubble, blah, blah, blah. No, you realize it's all building blocks. And, you know, I think I put out a big tweet yesterday, which got a lot of traction, explaining why Mark Zuckerberg's move from Facebook to Meta is so damn important.
Yeah, and we should actually take a look at that tweet. Facebook/Meta actually replying to you on the thread.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite fun, but it got a lot of traction. And what, again, I'm trying to do in that tweet is to stop people coming at it with their own biases. I don't like Facebook. It's all going to be centralized. You don't know anything. And, you know, Meta came back and said, actually, we want it to be an open system. Do you believe them or not? That's up to you. The thing about the metaverse, what is so special about it is you can pick up your stuff, your goods and chattels, which are NFTs, social tokens, all of these things, and cryptocurrencies, and go to another digital society that you want to live in or spend time in, right? This is the point here, is you're going to have to treat people certain ways, because we get to, unlike in the world that you live in the United States, I live in the Cayman Islands, this is where we live, you know, we have to operate within this society. Online societies, you get the chance to move. It's like if you didn't like the US for a while, you can say, well, fine, I'm just going to move to wherever. You can't do that. In the digital world, you can. So what they are about to do, and Mark Zuckerberg made it very clear about NFTs and crypto and how this all fits together, is they're about to onboard everybody into this new world. People don't see it yet. They want to be cynical about it. And that's fine. but it's coming.
Here's a question that I already know the answer to, but I want to hear you say it, Raoul. It comes to us from Leonard from the RV site. Raoul, do you still favor Ethereum over Bitcoin? And if so, why?
The cash generated in the Ethereum ecosystem is like 100x the rest of the entire space combined, something of that magnitude. There is a gigantic growth in the network, unlike any other space of this magnitude. That network has more use cases than almost any other network, well, it's by far in crypto, but most networks in the world. It has a restricted supply because of the burning of ETH from the gas fees. Everybody is staking their tokens for ETH 2.0, so you've taken loads off the exchange. Then there are hundreds of billions locked up in, or about 100 billion locked up in DeFi, NFTs, and all of that. That actually leaves a free float of Ethereum of about 11%. 11% is all the available Ethereum that you could buy if you went into the marketplace. And we've got that demand shock going on in front of our eyes. Bitcoin has nothing like that going on. Yes, there is a supply shock. Yes, there's a bit of a demand shock, but it just doesn't have the network intensity that Ethereum does. And the same is happening to things like Solana and Terra and others at an earlier stage. So they're smaller networks and they're starting to get exponential growth. So they do well too. But yes, I'm probably now, I don't even know anymore because I bought some options as well. As I said in my tweet last night, I'm probably 85% Ethereum.
85% Ethereum in your asset allocation.
Probably because of, as I said, probably because I bought a bunch of options. I'm was about 5% Bitcoin, and then a bunch of volts. But I don't know yet. I think it's because I added the options, it's kind of skews the numbers. If I'm just looking at the pure spot, it's probably 75% Ethereum, 5% Bitcoin, and 20% others.
Raoul is to Ethereum what Saylor is to Bitcoin.
And I'm not an Ethereum maximalist. This is the facts, right? In maybe 6 months' time, I'll be talking about something else. I'm not an Ethereum maximalist. I am investing based on the facts that I see them, the research that I've done, and the risk reward that I can ascertain from it.
Social tokens, why do you think they're so significant, and why do you see them as a driving force behind what's happening in this space?
All complex adaptive human societies have similar features. They have usually an organizing set of principles, a leader or group of leaders, a kind of a system of rules or organizing set of principles, as I said, and normally a value exchange. Like in religion, it's like you do these things, you go to heaven, you do those things, you go to hell, and you give some of your money to the church. In sovereign states, there's a system of money. So what you're doing, we had communities online for a long time, but once you add a system of money, you've created a digital nation state. What you do then is you create network effects around communities. So the more people you bring into the network, the more powerful it becomes, the more the value of the network goes up, and the more the network participants share in it. And so it's really difficult to get your head around until you can't unsee it. And when you can't unsee it, you realize it's going to be the biggest change in global business models for hundreds, if not thousands of years.